The Institute of Contemporary Music Performance is a college in London that has been going for about 30 years. So it's not of great antiquity, but it's certainly a respectable college of higher education. And this is something that's been found on the... look, it looks to me like a screen there rather than just a poster. So it might be at the front of a lecture theatre. Or it might be in some sort of meeting hall or whatever. But anyway, it says here, zero tolerance at the IMCP. What is a TERF? All right. Just in case you don't know, a TERF is a trans-exclusionary radical feminist, and this is what they say about that sort of person. Now, it's usually applied to women, of course, but there must be some men as well. A trans-exclusionary radical feminist ideology is a specific form of transphobia. And here we have language on its other end, because what they're saying here, a trans-exclusionary radical feminist is a woman, mostly I'll say woman, as I say, sometimes it's men as well, but a woman who believes that a man who identifies as a woman, but who dresses as a woman, but who doesn't do anything else to change himself, is not a woman. And they say, and that's called ideology, when it is simply a statement of fact. The primary TERF assertion is that trans women are not women and accordingly have no place in women's spaces. Now, I have to keep making this point because some people come in on this video, they won't have seen any of my earlier stuff. There are two types of trans women. There's the type who actually, they might have started off as men, but they have actually changed themselves physically. And they externally, at any rate, they look like women and they live as women. And generally speaking, they don't call attention to themselves. And they don't do stuff that betrays their original masculinity. And I have no problem with those people, those women at all. But there is another sort, and they are men. And they just pretend to be women. They say, well, I dress up as a woman, so I am a woman. Not even a properly transitioned man into woman is really a biological woman. But because they live as women and they generally blend in, then there's nothing wrong with treating them how they want to be treated. But these other guys, it's nothing more than misogyny. That's all it is. Dressing up as pantomime dames in places where pantomime dames are not appropriate. And they are simply taking advantage, and sometimes in extremely violent ways, of women. And they don't have any place in women's spaces. This ideology, you see, it's not an ideology. And I don't see how... Well, anyway, look, this is where everything really does get turned upside down, and they seem to not understand that. This ideology also affects trans men, that is, women who have become men, externally at any rate. Trans men, as TERFs assert that people assigned female at birth but identify as male shouldn't be allowed into women's spaces either. So we have a situation here where this poster is saying that men who are still men and dress up as women are women, and women who have changed to being men are still women as well. And they all crowd into the women's, changing rooms or lavatories. Women's lavatories are always crowded because women have to take more time over basic physical functions. The men can just go up to the urinal and do whatever they have to do and get out. Women have to go into a booth and sit on a lavatory, and pull their tights down or whatever. It takes a lot more time. So the throughput in a women's changing room, well, a lavatory, is going to be slower. And that's apart from the fact that women very often have children with them as well when they're in public spaces like that. And this is saying that if I said that and I was a student there, then the next thing that they're telling anyone else who might overhear me to do is to report me using this barcode or whatever these things are called. This is a true witchfinder or heresy finding techniques and ideas, isn't it? But what really gets me is that women aren't making enough fuss about it. And I'm going to show you in exactly what way. Miss Greater Derry, biological male teen, wins Miss America in beauty pageant in New Hampshire. Trans-identified male Brian Nguyen has become the first transgender title holder within the Miss America organisation after being crowned Miss Greater Derry 2023, earning Nguyen a scholarship along with the crown and the title. And this is Mr. Nguyen. Here he is. And I want to show you a picture down here. Well, that's Mr. Nguyen again. Delightful, isn't he? Look, he's announced the winner. And look at these girls. Oh, how wonderful. Oh, we always knew you'd do it. Why are they doing that? Why aren't they ripping his eyes out? It's a disgrace. But it's the sort of thing that it's the sort of thing that seems to be the hallmark of any new religion. And I was just thinking when I saw this, early Christianity was taken on by Roman women in masses long before there were any men, too many men involved in it. It was the women who drove the fashion that started out as a fashion for Christianity. And they were told they were second-class citizens. Shut up in church was the instruction. That's not your place. So those women actually went for a religion that told them they were not worth very much, really. And the interesting thing is early Islam was also supported by women. Again, a religion that told them they weren't worth very much, admittedly far more extremely than Christianity. Well, what's with these women? Why do they embrace this sort of philosophy that tells them they're not worth that much? That this creature here is more beautiful than them, and that the response on social media was mixed. Nguyen was described as iconic and history maker. Oh, for goodness sake, here. But as has been pointed out, this is not just a beauty pageant. They award scholarships to the winners. So Brian has just taken a scholarship away from a young woman. Well, why are these women agreeing? Why are those women agreeing to compete in any way with somebody like this? They did it for that swimming competition, and now they're doing it for a beauty pageant. And what is wrong with the judges? Do they really think that's beautiful? I'd be very worried about those judges. All right, well, yeah. Oh, okay, I got so involved with this, I forgot to tell you I'm Granniopteryx. Please help my channel by liking, sharing and subscribing. And if you're watching this on YouTube, remember to check that you've still got a subscription. You can help my channel financially, buy me a coffee or one of the links below. And if you want to know about new uploads, subscribe to me as @granniopteryx on Twitter, Gab and Parler, because I know that YouTube tend not to do that as well. Okay, till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Granniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share, share, share.